Good evening. Get a little early start tonight. It is March the 9th, and we are going to be reading from Numbers 11:24 through 13:33, Mark 14:22 through 52, and Psalms 52 1 through 9, and Proverbs 11 1 through 3. Like we try to do every night, we're going to say the Lord's Prayer. If you don't know it, you can learn it with me. If you do know it, come along with me. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. So we are in Numbers still, and we're at Numbers 11:22, 13 through 33. Facebook will be right after this, Josh, as soon as I get done. I want to get this done first, and then I'll do Facebook. I think I said I was going to do Facebook at 9, so you're on it, buddy. We're going to knock this out first. So Moses went out and told the people what God had said. He called together 70 of the leaders and had them stand around the tent. God came down in a cloud and spoke to Moses and took some of the spirit that was on him and put it on the 70 leaders. So if you remember from yesterday, Moses felt like he couldn't take it all anymore, so he brought the 70 leaders in, and he was going to basically take all the weight off of Moses and give it to some of the leaders to kind of help Moses out. When the Spirit rested on them, they prophesied, but they didn't continue. It was a one-time event. Meanwhile, two men, Eldad and Medad, had stayed in the camp. They were listed as leaders, but they didn't leave camp to go to the tent. Still, the Spirit also rested on them, and they prophesied in the camp. A young man ran and told Moses, Eldad and Medad are prophesying in the camp. Joshua, son of Nun, who had been Moses' right-hand man since his youth, said, Moses, master, stop them. But Moses said, are you jealous for me? Would that all God's people were prophet? That don't even sound right. Would that all God's people were prophets? Would that God put his spirit on all of them? Then Moses and the leaders of Israel went back to the camp. A wind set in motion by God swept quails in from the sea. They piled up to a depth of about 3 feet in the camp, and as far out as a day's walk in every direction. All that day and night, and into the day, the people were out gathering the quail, huge amounts of quail. Even the slowest person among them gathered at least 60 bushels. That's a lot of birds. They spread them all over the camp for drying. But while they were still chewing the quail, they had hardly swallowed the first bites. God's anger blazed out against the people. He hit them with a terrible plague. They ended up calling the place Kibroth Hatavah, graves of the craving. There they buried the people who craved meat. From Gibroth Hatavath, they marched on to Hazeroth. They remained at Hazeroth. Miriam and Aaron talked against Moses behind his back because of his Cushite wife. He had married a Cushite woman. They said, it is only through Moses that God speaks. Doesn't he also speak through us? God overheard their talk. Imagine that. Now the man Moses was a quietly humble man, more so than anyone living on earth. God broke in suddenly on Moses and Aaron and Miriam, saying, come out, you three, to the tent of the meeting. The three went out. God descended in a pillar of the cloud and stood at the entrance to the tent. He called Aaron and Miriam to him. When they stepped out, he said, listen carefully to what I'm telling you. If there's a prophet of God among you, I make myself known to him in visions. I speak to him in dreams, but I don't do it in the way that my servant Moses. He has the run of my entire house. I speak to him intimately in person, in plain talk without riddles. He ponders the very form of God. So why did you show no reverence or respect in speaking against my servant, against Moses? The anger of God blazed out against them, and then he left. When the cloud moved off from the tent, Miriam had turned leprous, her skin like snow. Aaron took one look at Miriam, a leper. He said to Moses, "Please, my master, please don't come down so hard on us for this foolish and thoughtless sin. Please don't make her like a stillborn baby coming out of its mother's womb with half of its body decomposed." And Moses prayed to God, "Please, God, heal her. Please heal her." God answered Moses, "If her father had spat in her face, wouldn't she be ostracized for 7 days? Quarantine her outside the camp for 7 days, then she can be readmitted to the camp." So Miriam was quarantined outside the camp for 7 days. The people didn't march on until she was readmitted. Only then did the people march from Hazeroth and set up camp in the wilderness of Paran. God spoke to Moses, "Send men to scout out the country of Canaan that I am going to the people of Israel. Send one man from each ancestral tribe, each one a tried and true leader in the tribe." So Moses sent them off from the wilderness of Paran at the command of God. All of them were leaders in Israel, one from each tribe. These were their names. Oh, this will be fun. From Reuben, Shammua son of Zechar. From Simeon, Shaphat son of Hori. From Judah, Caleb son of Lord, y'all, Jephanneh. From Issachar, Igal son of Joseph. From Ephraim, Hosea son of Nun. From Benjamin, Palti son of Raphu. From Zebulun, Gideon son of Sodi. From Manasseh, a Joseph tribe, Gadi son of Susi. From Dan, Amel son of Gamali. From Asher, Sether son of Michael. From Naphtali, Nabi son of Voshi. And from Gad, Gul son of Maki. These are the names of the men Moses sent out to scout the land. Moses gave Hosanna, salvation, son of Nun, a new name. Joshua, God saves. When Moses sent them off to scout Canaan, he said, "Go up through the Negev and into the hill country. Look the land over, see what it is like. Assess the people. Are they strong or weak? Are there many or few? Observe the land. It is pleasant or harsh. Describe the towns where they live. Are they open camps or fortified with walls? And the soil, is it fertile or barren? Are there forests? And try to bring back a sample of the produce that grows there. This is the season for first ripe grapes." With that, they were on their way. They scouted out the land from the wilderness of Zin as far as Rehob toward Lebo Hamath. Their route went through the Negev desert to the town of Hebron. Ahiman, Shisha, and Talmi, descendants of the giant Anak, lived there. Hebron had built several years before Zoan in Egypt. When they arrived at the Eshcol Valley, they cut off a branch with a single cluster of grapes. It took 2 men to carry it, slung on a pole. They also picked some pomegranates and figs. They named the place Eshcol Valley, Grape Cluster Valley, because of the huge clusters of grapes they had cut down there. After 40 days of scouting out the land, they returned home. They presented themselves before Moses and Aaron and the whole congregation of the people of Israel in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. They reported to the whole congregation and showed them the fruit of the land. Then they told the story of their trip. "We went to the land to which you sent us, and oh, does it flow with milk and honey, just like as at this fruit. The only thing is that the people who live there are fierce, their cities are huge and well fortified. Worse yet, we saw descendants of the giant Anak. Amalekites are spread out in the Negev, Hittites, Jebusites, Amorites hold the hill country, and the Canaanites are established on the Mediterranean Sea and along the Jordan." Caleb interrupted, calling for silence before Moses, and said, "Let's go up and take the land now. We can do it." But the other says, we can't attack those people. They're way stronger than we are." They spread scary rumors among the people of Israel. They said, "We scouted out the land from one end to the other. It's the land that swallows people whole. Everybody we saw was huge. Why, we even saw the Nephilim giants. The Anak giants came from Nephilim. Alongside them, we felt like grasshoppers, and they looked down on us as if we were grasshoppers. So the breakdown of Numbers 11, 24, 13 through 33, this is where the story starts getting pretty good, in my opinion, where they're trying to find the land of milk and honey. They see giants. And of course, over the next probably several days, we're going to break this down some more. God put his spirit on the 70 elders to help Moses carry the leadership burden. Two men, Eldad and Medad, prophesy in the camp, showing God's spirit isn't limited by human expectations. Then Moses sends 12 spies into the promised land. They confirm the land is amazing, but the 10 spies panic about the giants and fortified cities. Only Joshua and Caleb trust God. The core lesson here is faith sees God's promise. Fear sees giants. Ouch. That hurts. The fact the facts were the same. The interpretations were different. How many times does that happen? The facts are the same, but you might see something, your spouse might see something, and it's totally different than you, or your friends might see something totally different. When God gives you an assignment, don't let fear distort the mission. That's a story in itself. When God gives you an assignment, don't let fear distort the mission. Mark 14:22 through 52. In the course of their meal, having taken on and blessed the bread, he, Jesus, broke it and gave it to them and said, "Take, this is my body." Taking this chalice, he gave it to them, thanking God, and they all drank from it. He said, "This is my blood, God's new covenant, poured out for my people. I'll not be drinking wine again until the new day when I drink it in the kingdom of God." They sang a hymn and then went directly to Mount Olives. Jesus told them, you're going to feel that your world is falling apart and that it's my fault. There's a scripture that says, "I will strike the shepherd, the sheep will shatter. But after I'm raised up, I will go ahead of you, leading the way to Galilee." Peter blurted out, "Even if everyone else is ashamed of you when things fall to pieces, I won't." Jesus said, "Don't be so sure. Today, this very night, in fact, before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times." He blustered in protest. "Even if I had to die for you, I would never deny you." All the others said the same thing. They came to an area called Gethsemane. Jesus told his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." He took Peter, James, and John with him. He sank into a pit of suffocating darkness. He told them, "I feel bad enough right now to die. Stay here and keep vigil with me." Going a little ahead, he fell to the ground and prayed for a way out. "Papa, Father, you can't you? Get me out of this. Take this cup away from me. But please, not what I want. What do you want?" He came back and found them sound asleep. He said to Peter, "Simon, you went to sleep on me. Can't you stick it out with me a single hour? Stay alert, be in prayer, so you don't enter the danger zone without even knowing it. Don't be naive. Part of you is eager, ready for anything in God, but another part of you is lazy, as the old dog sleeping by the fire." He then went back and prayed the same prayer. Returning, he again found them sound asleep. They simply couldn't keep their eyes open, and they didn't have a plausible excuse. He came back a third time and said, "Are you going to sleep all night? No, you've slept long enough. Time's up. The Son of Man is about to be betrayed into the hands of sinners. Get up, let's go. My betrayer has arrived." No sooner were the words out of his mouth when Judas, the one out of the 12, showed up with him a bunch of thugs, set by the high priest, religion scholars, and leaders, brandishing swords and clubs. The betrayer had worked out a signal with them. "The one I kiss, that's the one, seize him. Make sure he doesn't get away." He went straight to Jesus and said, "Rabbi," and kissed him. The others then grabbed him and roughed him up. One of the men standing there unsheathed his sword, swung, and came down on the chief priest's servant, lopping off the man's ear. Jesus said to them, "What is this? Coming after me with swords and clubs as if I were a dangerous criminal? Day after day I've been sitting in the temple teaching, and you never once as much lifted a hand against me. What you, in fact, have done is confirm the prophetic writings." All the disciples bailed on him. A young man was following along. All he had on him was a bedsheet. Some of the men grabbed him, but he got away, running off naked, leaving them holding the sheet. So the breakdown of Mark 14:22 through 52 is at the Last Supper, Jesus introduces communion. The bread represents his body and the wine his blood, pointing to him, pointing to his coming sacrifice. Jesus predicts Peter will deny him, and later in Gethsemane, he prays in deep anguish, but submits to the Father's will. Judas arrives with soldiers and betrays him with a kiss. Jesus is arrested, and the disciples scatter. The core lesson says Jesus chose obedience to God even when it meant suffering. Application says true faith isn't proven when things are easy, it's proven in the moment of pressure. That's good too. Psalms 52, 1 through 9. Why do you brag of evil, big man? God's mercy carries the day. You scheme catastrophe. Your tongue cuts razor sharp, artisan in lies. You love evil more than good. You call black white. You love malicious gossip, you foul mouth. God will tear you limb from limb, sweep you up and throw you out, pull you from the roots, from the land of life. Good people will watch and worship. They'll laugh in relief. Big man bet on the wrong horse, trusted in big money, made his living from catastrophe. And I'm an olive tree, growing green in God's house. I trusted in the generous mercy of God and then and now. I thank you always that you went into action, and I'll stay right here. Your good name, my hope, in company with your faithful friends. Psalms 52, 1 through 9, the breakdown is the psalm. This psalm condemns a deceitful, arrogant man who boasts in evil and lies. The writer contrasts the wicked person with the righteous, who trust in God's steadfast love. The core lesson is evil may look powerful for a moment, but God ultimately uproots it. True. Don't envy people who succeed through manipulation or lies. Their foundation is temporary. Lastly, we got Proverbs 11, 1 through 3. God hates cheating in the marketplace. He loves it when business is overboard. God hates cheating in the marketplace. He loves it when business is above board, not overboard. The stuck up fall flat on their face, but down to earth people stand firm. Okay. Breakdown of Proverbs 11, 1 through 3 says, God hates dishonest scales, cheating and deception in business or life, but he delights in honesty. Pride leads to downfall, while integrity guides a person safely. Core lesson says, integrity is protection. The application says, a person with integrity doesn't have to remember lies. The character keeps them on track. A person with integrity doesn't have to remember lies. Their character keeps them coming back. That's something I say to my customers and my friends and things, is that I'm never going to lie to you because then I have to remember what I lied about. It just doesn't pay. If you don't want to know, don't ask me. I'll give you my personal opinion, my God opinion, or what I think he thinks. Not saying it's right. I'll just give you my opinion. I'm one of those people that'll be brutally honest, and I expect you to be brutally honest with me. So the big theme for the day, well, throwing my glasses everywhere, guys. Sorry about that. The big theme of the day says faith. God rewards faith, obedience, honesty, and integrity, and exposes fear, betrayal, pride, and deception. So probably in about 10 minutes, I will be live on Facebook and Instagram doing my Motivational Monday. And Facebook leaves them up for about a month and then they fall off, but Instagram, they're just on my page. So this is 7 years I've been doing these. This is my 7th year of doing these. And they were all on Facebook up until about maybe 6 months ago, and Facebook deleted them all. So it is what it is. So I started sharing them on Instagram also. So guys, I love you. If no one told you today, I love you. Have a better than good night. I love you. I love you. I love you. And we'll see you soon. Thanks.